Hello everyone, and welcome back to SportsRender. We're starting this week's update with some huge news coming straight from Barcelona. The City Council has officially given FC Barcelona the green light to return to Spotify Camp Nou after granting the long-awaited first occupancy permit for Phase 1A. This means the club can now open parts of the stadium, specifically the main tribune and the south stand on the first ring, allowing up to 27,000 fans to enter. But before you get too excited, the return won't be immediate. Barcelona have decided to keep playing at Montjuic for now, until they also receive approval for Phase 1B, which would increase the capacity to 47,000 spectators. The main reason? Economics. The club earns much higher revenue playing at the Olympic Stadium, and moving back too early to a partially open Camp Nou would reduce their matchday income. Once Phase 1B is approved, the lateral stand will also reopen, and that's key because UEFA requires that section to host Champions League matches. Even though UEFA rarely allows teams to play group stage games in two different stadiums, Barcelona might be an exception. After already facing Paris Saint-Germain and soon Olympiacos, they could still play European fixtures at Camp Nou later this season. Club Vice President Elena Fort, who oversees the Espai Barça project, told RAC1 Radio that we expect the 1B phase to be approved soon, since the works are finished and it's mostly about permits and validation. She didn't commit to a date, but hinted that the return could happen by late November, possibly for the match against Athletic Club or Getafe, which would perfectly coincide with Barça's 126th anniversary. Now, let's take a look at what's happening inside the stadium this week, because the works are still advancing at a solid pace. Let's start at the north goal. This area has been very active lately, with several new developments worth noting. Workers have started placing formwork panels along the edges of the upper levels. These panels will soon allow concrete pouring to continue across this section. A few gaps are still visible, but teams are preparing to fill them over the next few days. There are also elevated platforms working on bolts and connections, ensuring every part of the steel structure is perfectly secured. Safety checks continue daily, as this is one of the most critical areas of the stadium's frame. Moving to the corner sections, progress has been quite visible this week. The team has finished pouring concrete in several zones, and now workers are removing the temporary wooden molds used for shaping the structure. You can really see the stadium taking form here. These sections are vital for connecting the new stands together and creating a continuous seating flow around the pitch. There's also been movement of heavy materials, massive compression rings and steel reinforcements, each weighing over 25 tons. These will support the upper tiers once the final roof structure begins to rise in the coming months. Now to one of the most talked about moments of the week, the installation of the façade slats, also known as lamas. After months of anticipation, the first decorative slats have finally started to appear on the lateral side of the stadium. They're massive in size and incredibly heavy, marking the beginning of one of the most iconic visual elements of the new Camp Nou. These metallic slats will eventually cover the stadium's entire exterior, giving it that unique, futuristic look we've all seen in the renders. It's a major step forward, and one that fans have been waiting for since the early design stages. Down below, work continues in the underground parking area, which will soon serve as the main access hub for players, staff, and VIP guests. Crews have been focusing on rebar installation and concrete pouring, covering large sections every few days. The progress is impressive, especially considering the scale of this area. This parking zone will include electric vehicle stations, technical rooms, and logistics access points. The aim is to complete it before the end of this year, to free up space for upper structure work in 2026. In the south goal area, the focus has been on correcting small structural issues that appeared in some brackets and connections. Several support frames were temporarily removed for adjustment, but everything is now being reinstalled safely. In the main tribune, crews continue preparing support beams and finishing surfaces that will later host VIP areas and media zones. The diamond area, one of the stadium's most iconic internal features, continues to evolve, with more glass supports being tested and adjusted before permanent installation begins. Inside the stadium, the progress continues steadily. Concrete pillars are now mostly completed, with scaffolding gradually being removed. Workers have also been busy adding protective nets, formwork panels, and finalizing small interior structures, especially near the future club store and hospitality zones. These interior developments might not be as visually dramatic as the exterior, but they're essential to bring the stadium's core infrastructure together. So, where does everything stand today? The Spotify Camp Nou continues to move forward, even as the timeline stretches slightly. Each week, new layers of the stadium come to life, from the lowest foundations to the upper roof edges. The structural frame is nearly complete, the facade work has officially begun, and the interior preparation is progressing at a steady rhythm. The team's goal remains the same: to reopen the stadium phase by phase, aiming for a full 105,000 seat completion by 2026. And that wraps up this week's SportsRender update on the Spotify Camp Nou. We're now seeing how this incredible project is transforming day by day. A true mix of technology, design, and passion for football. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like this video, drop a comment with your thoughts on the progress, and subscribe so you never miss an update on the world's most iconic stadiums. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week with more progress from Spotify Camp Nou.